Welcome to part 2 of Pirates versus Zombies. This drawing should look familiar to you. We did go over it in class, but here it is again, immortalized in video form. We have our zombie friend here who we are teaching. Now, I've had lots of questions about linking. I want to go over the 4 steps of header and footer success once again. So step 1, as you know, is to actually draw your picture and figure out where your sections are. As discussed in class, you have to have a section break every time you have to apply a different formatting. So for example, your cover page in this example is landscape. You have to have a section break there or the entire document is going to be landscape. You don't want that. So that's your first section. Next, when you're looking at the sample document that's been provided to you, remember that's the answer, so really look at it. You're looking at your table of contents. Now the footer has a Roman numeral in it. The rest of the document does not. You have to have a section break there, or that Roman numeral will be applied to the footer and all the rest of your document. So section break there. And then of course, as you know, the content in the header for chapter 1 is different from the content in the header for chapter 2. So you have to have a section break there as well. So that is step 1, draw your picture, you figure out your sections. Step 2, do you need a different first page anywhere? So the example we did in class, we had chapter 1 was all about chocolate, chapter 2 is about pickles. Now often in a header, you'll have the chapter name in the header of all of the pages except for the first page of the chapter because it'll say chapter 1. So if you have chapter 1 in the header, that would be redundant. So you have to have a first page, different first page selected at the beginning of each of your chapters. Otherwise, you'll have a document that's redundant. You don't want that. So we've determined where we need our different first page. So that's steps 1 and 2. Step 3 is the linking. This is where I've gotten a lot of questions. So remember, we've said you link to previous. What does previous mean? Before. And remember, in class I said I want you to think vertically when you're talking about linking, not horizontally within a section. You are not linking within a section horizontally. Nope, you're linking to previous, just like the button says, vertically, not horizontally. So keep that in your brain. And the other thing to remember with linking is that you're only linking to the section above with the same name. So Word automatically will link. You have to go and unlink. So can this section link to previous? There's nothing above it, no link. Here, section 2, header section 2 would link to header section 1. Now they're both blank. So they have to be identical if you keep the link activated. So technically, you could leave this linked because it won't ruin your document if you have it linked or not, because it's blank. Now let's say you had a really fancy, cool logo in header section 1 and you didn't want to have to redo it in header section 2, you would link it and it would automatically show up in both. So that's okay. Now, first page header section 3, remember you're looking for the same name in the previous section. Do we have first page header section 2? No. So there's nothing for this to link to. It's non-existent. So there should be no link there. No link to previous. Now what about header section 3? You find the header with the same name in the previous section. Header section 3, header section 2. Now header section 2 is blank. Header section 3 has a page number in it. Are those the same? No. No link. Now we go down to header section 4. First page header section 4. You look for the section with the same name in the previous section. First page header section 3, same name. Are they identical? Neither of them have anything in them? Yes. So then it would be okay if you had linked to previous activated. Again, these two are blank, so there's nothing in it. So even if you didn't have it linked, it's not the end of the world. But if you had a company logo, something cool in the header, you'd want it in both. You could link to previous. Now, Header section 4, can that link to header section 3? They have the same name, and all they have, if all they had was a page number, then yes. But let's say that this says chapter 1 and this says chapter 2. That's different content in the headers. So no, you would not want to link it because this says chapter 1, this says chapter 2. That's not identical, you wouldn't link it. So remember, think vertically, not horizontally. Now I'm going to invite my co-pirate to come in to talk about how zombies tend to mess this up. And stay tuned for our next series where we do discuss step 4 in more detail. Take it away, co-pirate.
So one of the major problems that we have with zombies is especially with the part where they're trying to decide if they need a different first page or not. They tend to think that the first page is for the whole document. So they say, yes, I need a different first page here, and they are considering the whole document. But remember, you really have to do that for each section. So you think, do I need a different first page in this section? Right now it's only one page, so you definitely don't. Even if somebody came along later and edited your document and put in a subtitle page, the chances of you needing it to be different on the first page than the second page are very slim. So you'd still leave it as no different first page. In this section, do we need a different first page? And then for each one, do we need a different first page? But not for the whole document. And really, the zombies mess themselves up so much when they do that because they can't figure out, they've either got different first page everywhere, which creates new headers and footers. Another thing that you'll see the zombies do is they don't draw the picture. And then they are just, constantly going, I don't understand which header I'm in, which footer I'm in, I don't know which section I'm in. So, when we have the pirates sitting there looking at this picture, it seems to really make sense. Of course, experienced pirates, they don't need to draw the picture anymore, but certainly at the beginning, everyone does. The other thing that the zombies will do is, they never know where to put the section breaks. So I try to tell them, anytime you're changing something in the page setup dialog box, that's when you need a different section break. So that could be orientation, it could be margins, it could be different headers and footers. Anything in the 3 tabs of the page setup dialog box means you need a different section, and that's where you should be putting in your section breaks. So, I'm pleading to the zombies out there, if you could just listen to those few steps, it really will make your life easier. Thanks.